Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're laughing at midlife stereotypes. Let's face it, each age group has things about it that people love to make fun of, and midlife is no exception. Join us for midlife memes that are sure to put a smile on your face. Let's get started. Listeners, today we're coming to you with a bit of humor. One of the gifts of getting older is the ability to laugh at yourself, and we've noticed that midlife brings new jokes and things that we think are funny, even if our teens are busy rolling their eyes the whole time. So, as a prompt for this topic, we are going to talk about some funny memes that have been posted by Dawn, a midlife Instagrammer at Just Doing My Best. And Julie, I know that you're the one that brought her to our attention. Why don't you tell us about Dawn and why you follow her?
Yeah, I followed Dawn on Instagram initially because she talked about fashion over 50 or fashion in midlife. And she has makeup tips, and her account is really quite diverse. She now is fixing up a farmhouse, so you get to meet her goats. She has recipes, skincare, dad jokes. You meet her family. And her tagline of her Instagram account is laughing through midlife and menopause, affordable fashion, makeup, fun, and fixing up a farmhouse in Tennessee. So interspersed in her fashion posts, she'll have just really funny things about midlife. And they're always those kind of things that you think, okay, she's reading my mind, like it's just spot on. So I thought we could use those as prompts today because, obviously they resonate because I think we're all thinking the same thing.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes, like you said, we don't know that we're thinking that, but then we read it, we're like, oh yeah, that's in my mind too.
Yeah.
We're going to pick out some of the ones that Dawn has shared at her Instagram account, Just Doing My Best. So you can go to that if you want to follow her. But we're going to pick out some of her memes and we're going to talk about them today. And then we also have some funny examples from our own lives. At least we think they're funny. And one of the things about midlife is that we can laugh at ourselves even if no one else laughs.
What is it they say? We laugh with each other as opposed to being laughed at.
Right.
We're laughing together.
Yes. All right. Well, Julie, since you're the one that brought these memes to our attention, what was one of the ones that you wanted to share with listeners?
Well, I liked when she said, friends don't tell friends that 1980 was 40 years ago.
Oh my!
How is that possible?
I know. If anybody says, oh, that was about 20 years ago, I immediately think, oh, in the 80s.
Right.
And I don't understand why, like what makes my mind go to that. But it's just like when I hear that was 40 something years ago,
Right.
it really makes you feel old.
Yeah,
I know. I seem to always think I'm 20. Then I remember I was born in 1979, which was only a year before 1980. And I'm like, well, I'm not 20. I'm 40. So 1980 I'm like, it was only 1 year, but it feels like a lifetime.
Right.
And I'm just constantly confused.
Yeah. Well, 1980 takes you way back.
Right.
Yes.
But for me, I guess it's like, okay, that was the prime of life. Maybe that's why I think that's where I am,
Yeah.
Stuck in 1980.
Well, that certainly is funny. And Mindy, I don't know what it is like. If you say you were born in the 1970s, that just sounds so much older than the 1980s.
It does. And so it's just not right. And to think when I think that the 90s music, somehow in my mind, that's current, but no, that's vintage.
Right.
Yeah. And my kids like to get under my skin. They'll say, well, you were born in the 1900s. So, and even saying the 1900s is already 22 years old, you guys.
It sounds so old.
Yeah. I'm kind of mid-century. So
yes. Yeah. The other day, Abby and I were shopping and there's a lot of browns that have come back into style that are, popular, and it's been coming back for a while. But I was like, yeah, that was really popular in the 90s, the browns, which was a long time ago.
I know. Yeah, I think we just forget about 2000 to 2022.
That's because we were so busy raising kids. It was all a blur.
We blocked it out.
Yeah, all the cultural references, they were just gone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mindy, what did you pick out that you thought was funny?
This one from a recent event, this one really got me laughing. I'd like to think when the time comes, I will die a heroic death, but it will probably be in the middle of the night, half naked, tripping over the dog, trying to find my glasses on the way to the bathroom.
Yes. I thought that one was funny too.
Me too.
Listen, you guys, I don't even have a dog, and I'm still tripping over myself and broke my own toe on my own dresser.
Right.
You don't need a dog to add to that.
I don't need a dog. I'm too clumsy all by myself. And so
that's funny. I did think of that one too, because our dog, who is almost 9, we don't require him to sleep in the kennel anymore because he's safe at 9, you know. Well, he's chosen to sleep under the head of my side of the bed. That's
I wonder why, just to get as close to you as possible.
And he's big. Yes, he has to kind of inch his way under there every night, and he's hanging out. So like when I get out of bed, I have to be careful not to step on him.
His body's right there.
Yes, right there.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, and he bumps the nightstand, the lamp wobbles. And so.
Oh, my goodness. That's too funny.
Have you tripped over Clara yet, Marie?
No, but I am laughing just at midlife sleeping arrangements, Julie, because I know that you said that you have your cat that sleeps directly on your chest, like right below your chin, like almost cutting off your breath.
Yeah.
Every single night. And now you have your dog that sleeps directly below your bed, and you have to tiptoe around him to even get in and out of bed.
Smothered by the cat. And if you're not, you're going to die by the dog.
It's a good thing I'm kind of cold natured, because that's a lot of body heat.
Wow.
And we have a dog bed for Clara that she slept in very faithfully for like almost the whole first year. And now she is taken to hopping up. First, she took to hopping up on the bed in the middle of the night when we're sleeping. Oh. And so we just wake up and notice her there. And now she just gets up there. And as she walks in, and I don't mind, but that has caused Benny to have to move over to Steve's side, our cat. And Steve doesn't like Benny over there, but Steve's just going to have to deal.
Oh my! See, that's the thing. I feel like if we got a pet, I just need my bed to myself. Like I need to be able to sleep.
You're not there yet, Mindy.
No. Well, and Steve travels a lot, so it's comforting to me on the nights that he's not there. So I'm like, well, when you stop traveling, maybe I will make different arrangements for the pets.
Until you stop traveling, the cat gets your spot.
Yeah. Well, this morning I was getting a shower, and Charlie was right outside the shower, and we have like all glass doors, you know, so no privacy. And then the cat was sitting on the counter looking in the shower. Oh. So I was like, wow, 2 out of 3 of our pets are right here.
Just staring at you. Taking a shower.
You're just so constantly interesting, Julie.
I know. And then I shut the doors. They're like bifold doors. And then he just comes running, and it sounds like an explosion. Like, so there's just no privacy. I have to make sure all the doors outside of that room are shut, because.
Oh my goodness.
That's too funny. Well, speaking of sleeping arrangements, one of the memes that she posted that I thought was funny was, I can't wait to do a lot of traveling when I retire. It will be fun to always be tired and not sleep at night in lots of new and exciting places.
I immediately thought of you, Marie, when I read that.
I love that one so much too.
And that is totally me. And so here's a midlife thing. We went on this trip to Glacier, which literally involves like 17 hours of travel each way. We have kids with us. Like, it's a busy vacation. And he comes to me like 2 days before, and he's like, oh, looking forward to getting away this weekend, as if this is some kind of romantic trip. I'm like, I just kind of looked at him like, do you recall any other family vacations? Like, just lower those expectations. Lower them low. Then he comes home from a business trip right before we leave, like coughing up a storm, can't even lay down without just causing a huge racket. I made him sleep in the bonus room the night before we even left. Like, so on the plane, I said, oh, do you think you could call when we land and get our hotel room switched from 1 king to 2 queens because the girls were in another room? And he goes, why? I said, well, come on. I mean, like, you're coughing and coughing, and I want to get some sleep. I already don't sleep well on vacation. He goes, well, I can check. So we land, and of course, the hotel everywhere you go is so busy, and they don't have it. So I said, oh, okay. And he goes, well, I mean, I could sleep on it. It does have a king-size sofa bed. And I said, well, I hate to make you do that, because usually the sofa beds are really uncomfortable. But anyways, we got there, and after he's coughed and hacked and been miserable all day, he actually did set up the sofa bed himself. And he goes, well, I'll start out in the bed. And then if think I'm bothering you, I'll move over to the sofa bed. But anyways, he ended up sleeping in the sofa bed most of our vacation because he never recovered from that cold.
Oh.
And Lydia walked in our room one day because she and Lauren were in the next room. She's like, you and Dad are sleeping in separate beds. I'm like, well, he's sick and we're on vacation. I need my rest. But it's like, come on. Like,
if you want vacation mom, she has to get her sleep.
It's already
That's
hard enough to
right.
sleep on vacation. I don't need someone hacking 2 feet from my head.
Oh my goodness.
Now, how far was this sofa bed away from your bed, though? You
Well,
could still hear him.
I could, but it was kind of like white noise because I have my earplugs in the sound machine. It was mostly like the coughing shakes the bed. Like I don't like the shaking feeling. Like,
Steve was white noise.
his coughing was so constant.
You travel with the sound machine?
Oh, for sure. For
Oh my
sure.
goodness.
On my phone. Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
travel with the
wow.
actual sound
Oh.
machine, and I turn like the constant fan on in the room all
Mhm.
night, and we turn it down to like 64 because whatever
yeah.
hotel room I sleep in, the comforters are way too hot.
Oh,
Like
they are hot.
I am very hard to sleep on vacation, Mindy.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, and for all those people that are worrying that I said Steve had a cold, he did take a COVID test before we left. He only truly did have a cold, but he was a hacking machine. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, Bryce and I just joked about this because we took that trip to Arizona, and it's a 3-hour time difference. And it's also a longer flight in the United States.
Mhm.
And so we get there and we don't think we ever recovered from the time change. And like we're there and we're enjoying it. It's beautiful. And we're like, we just feel groggy like the whole time. We're there a whole week. And it literally took us coming home in a couple of days. And we're like, how do people travel and enjoy and really feel awake and alive? That was only a 3-hour time difference. And we never felt like we were fully ourselves the whole
Right.
time we were there. And so I don't know how people do it. But we wouldn't trade the trip for anything. At the same time, we're like, wow, traveling's hard.
It is hard. I always say to Steve, I feel so fat, so gross, so disgusting. I don't know how you do this every week because traveling
don't know
makes
how
me
he does
feel
it.
gross. Julie's smiling because she feels like she's on a high.
I was just getting ready to say it's an adrenaline high. Yes. Like, that's where your energy comes from, Mindy.
Oh,
No, my girls and I, when we were traveling home, we were all like, I don't know how Dad does this every week. This is miserable. We hate travel.
it throws your whole I mean, and we haven't even talked about midlife women's bodies.
Right.
It threw my whole system off. And I've been to the doctor since then to try to make sure everything's okay.
Really?
I'm like, come on. I want to see the world.
Yeah. So, and don't even think about asking me to go like on a girls' trip where we'd have to share beds the whole week.
Oh, you have said that before.
I can maybe share a room with someone, but I must have my own bed.
Listen, I did tell you when we moved into this house, I was like, Marie, you can have your own room. When you come to visit, you and Julie can have your own room.
All right, Julie. Well, what else did you pick out that was funny?
I have a funny one that I haven't had happen to me, but I had a friend mention this to me long before I read this. She writes, the ultimate betrayal. I use my phone daily. I play games with it. I take it places. I keep it updated and clean. Then 6 a.m. comes. I reach for it with glasses and no makeup on. And it says phone locked, face not recognized. How rude.
That is so rude.
Okay, I have a friend. This was several years ago. She told me she was exercising and she was doing, I think it was push-ups, something facing the floor. So she had her phone down on the floor facing her. And her phone did not recognize her because she said my face was all like gravity was pulling it down.
Oh,
And she
you
goes,
got like
I guess
5
the
chins
wrinkles and everything
Oh,
made
my
me
goodness.
unrecognizable. So I always think about that every time my little face recognition thing comes up.
That's too funny. You need to like program it at your worst.
Right.
Oh, listen, my phone, I feel like it lies to me, but I'm afraid it's telling me the truth. So I don't use the facial recognition. Um, just so you know, like anybody
Okay.
could probably get in my phone.
Okay. Do you even have a password?
No.
Okay.
Don't tell. But like we have, so we have 2 adult children that don't live in town with us. And so we'll FaceTime them or we'll Snapchat them. So we, that's part of our communication.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, if I turn on Snapchat and my phone is down, I'm like, and it's showing me my face at that angle. I'm like, do I really look like that?
But Snapchat has
like,
filters and makes you
let's
look
find
better.
those filters. Girl, I'm all about the filters. They are so fun. But yeah, FaceTime, I'm like, do I really look like that? And
Oh,
I'm like,
I know.
how
I
high
hate
can I get this phone to like give
I
me?
know, because you want to put it where it's comfortable, but it's like, that's under your chin.
I know. I can't do that because I have tennis elbow and I have a wrist that's sore. And I'm like, listen, the line that runs through my head is because, guys, I love movie lines. And so the line that runs through my head is from Crazy Rich Asians when the guy's like optimal angles before he takes a picture.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mindy, what did you think was funny? What was another funny one you picked out?
When I was a kid, I hated having to go to bed before 9 p.m. I couldn't wait to be an adult and go to bed whenever I wanted. As an adult, I was shocked to learn that whenever I want is actually way before 9 p.m.
I wrote your name by this one, Mindy.
Did you, Julie? You hit the nail on the head.
I still don't know what kind of magic you're working to get in bed before 9 p.m., but my hat is off to you.
It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened in probably over a month, like since summer hit.
Okay.
I've been in bed at like 11 and 12.
I know. That's how it is.
I don't feel good. Like I don't function as well because I'm still getting up at the same time, which maybe that's just a midlife thing.
Right.
But I still sleep great when I'm in bed. The kids are home and there's something that happens between sophomore and junior year with a high schooler. They start driving and all that stuff. And so that's kind of the life I'm in right now. And so I feel like my sleep is gone for a couple of years again.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
I still long for it. That's what I want.
Yeah. I know. I'd like to be able to go to bed at 11 and sleep until 7 or go to bed at 10 and sleep until 6. But for some reason, I can never make any of that happen.
I
don't even feel like I'm asking for long periods here, like just normal 8 hours.
Right. I think 10 to 6 is so, those are my optimal times.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of the ones I thought was funny was when I get excited about a steam mop and finding a candle that matches my towels, I feel like I need to better prepare my kids for the nonstop thrill ride that awaits them as an adult.
Oh, yeah.
And I just laugh at the things that I get excited about now. So I have wanted to share this on I'm a Fan, but it's not, I don't know if it's I'm a Fan worthy, so I'm going to share it now because it's a nonstop thrill ride as an adult, the things that you discover. So in the summer, I need to run my dishwasher a lot. And I don't know if you guys notice, but modern dishwashers, like when I first got married, dishwasher cycle was like 45 minutes. Probably was wasting 1 million gallons of water, but you put it in and an hour later you could unload it. Now dishwasher cycles are 2 hours, 30 minutes. I've been at the beach where they're almost 3 hours in this condo. It's like, seriously? I'm going to have to turn right around and load it again. So I thought one day, these dishes really aren't this dirty. And I discovered that the delicate cycle, which I never used, is only 59 minutes. And I thought, you know what? I am just going to press that delicate cycle and see if these dishes get clean. And lo and behold, they did. And I think this is like a conspiracy from people. They don't want you to know that there's shorter dishwasher cycles, but people check them out. Like, check them out because they're not the default. The default is 2 hours. Like, if you turn on my dishwasher, it immediately says hour and 59 minutes. I don't want that one anymore. I want the 1 hour. And I've been running that sometimes twice a day, but it makes life easier.
I didn't know there was a whole conspiracy about
I was
this.
going to say, who wants it to be so long?
Environmentalists. They don't
But
want
longer would be worse.
No, because they recycle the same 5 gallons of water or something. I don't know, but it seems like
all the electricity, though.
every time they get involved, I get a worse washer and a worse dishwasher. So I'm blaming them. My whole washing machine takes forever now, too. Like, I'd like to find a shorter cycle on that, too. Like, what happened to 40 minutes and my clothes were done?
Yeah, the ones in Europe take all day. They say literally washing is an all-day experience there.
Really?
And then most of them don't even have dryers. It's horrible. Yeah.
How are you supposed to do 2 loads in one day?
Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, check out your dishwasher cycles, see what's going on. But I promise you there might be one that's hidden from your view.
Another nonstop thrill ride as an adult.
It was. You guys, I felt like I was cheating the system. Like, oh my goodness.
Life hack.
Okay, Julie, what else did you think was funny?
All right. This one says, I'm at an age where I can't stay out late anymore. Not because I'm old. I've just had so much life experience. I need extra time to lay awake at night, second guessing every decision I've ever made.
This is so true. Except you can second guess best at 3 or 4 in the morning, apparently, for midlife women.
Ooh.
Yeah. When you're getting up, tripping over your dog, you start to think about
Oh, no.
You start to second guess adopting that puppy at Thanksgiving 9 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
I thought that was funny because, we've talked about things that keep you up at night. And
Yes.
it does seem like they just come to the surface in the forefront late at night.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
All right, Mindy, what did you think was funny?
All right, here's my next. Congratulations, you're an adult. You now get mad when they rearrange the grocery store.
Yes. Why? Why do they feel the need? Costco, why are you doing that? Like, just keep it where it always was. Kroger, like, it's just terrible. I sometimes have to go weeks without getting stuff I usually buy because I don't know where it went.
Yes.
Oh. And I make my list out in my mind according to the aisles. So that really messes me up.
Yes. So what I thought about with this one, the reason I chose it is since I've moved frequently, like the grocery store has been new frequently.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking about all my friends in Knoxville. Inevitably, the Kroger in Farragut area in Knoxville, it's been rearranged like 3 or 4 times. Like it's known to basically you get used to it and they're going to move it again. And so, and then they rearranged the Target there too when they upgraded it. And so I can't tell you how full my Facebook feed was between the Target getting rearranged and the Kroger being rearranged again. And it never fails that probably once a year when the Kroger changes again, people are like, that's it. I am done. I am never going back to that Kroger again. I've given them 3 different times and they did it again. I mean, it was and it's all these midlife friends of mine. And so they're listening now. They're like, yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm.
And it is the midlife problem because young people are using Instacart and they're not going in the store. So they don't even know.
Yes.
Our local Targets, I don't know if this is Targets all over the country, but like our local Targets are going through huge remodels. And I have heard more people complain about like the new makeup situation. Like you can't even find the makeup in the same order it used to be. You don't know how it works. You don't know where the food is compared to where they moved the pet supplies. Like they've just changed everything. And I've heard more people our age complain about that.
Listen, I felt like I couldn't say anything because when I went back to Farragut and I went in the new Target, I loved it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I was like, ooh, I can't tell my friends I like it.
It is aesthetically pleasing, but honestly, I want to just find what I came in to find.
Yes.
I think it'll be good once we're used to it, as long as they keep it that way.
Yes. Now, I do complain about my Walmart neighborhood store that went through a remodel. Now, the bathroom is much better, but their checkout lines are inefficient.
Yes.
So...
Oh, funny. All right. Well, here's one that wasn't one from Dawn, but I have had this. You know how you take screenshots of things on your camera roll? Why? Thinking that maybe you'll share this funny joke with someone.
I know. I get in trouble for those.
But so anyways, I found this one that I had on my camera roll. People who say go big or go home seriously underestimate my willingness to go home. Like it's literally my only goal.
Yep. I thought that was so funny.
Yep.
I really will just go home.
I just want to go home.
Yes. I know. Every time we vacation, and again, we're recovering from the jet lag, the time zone change, the physical things that happen. And I'm like, wow, our house is so nice. And then I think, why don't we stay? And then the next day I'm researching a new trip,
I know. I love traveling, but I think the best part of a trip is also coming home. So I get it.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about a few examples from our own lives. And I was sharing with Mindy and Julie that I had told my kids the last few weeks to point out to me if they thought there was anything that I should share on this episode. So that is really just like an open door for making fun of mom. But Julie, what do you have from your own life to share?
Well, this is one that I see on Instagram a lot. It's a reel that I see. And I don't usually share those because I think if I'm seeing it, I'm probably the last human to see it. So everybody's already seen it. But it is very, very funny because I feel like it's right where I am. It says, one day you're young and hip and carefree, and the next you're photographing vegetables in your garden. And if I look at the photos on my phone, easily 75% are plants, flowers, and trees.
I know. Yes. I took a picture of all my flowers when they started to bloom this spring and sent them on a text thread to my parents and my 3 siblings. This is what we have devolved to as an original family. Like maybe we used to share our kids' pictures or something. Now we're sharing flowers that have bloomed in our yard and we're all commenting, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I need to get that. Where did you it's just so funny.
And don't you remember grandparents and aunts always wanting to talk about their flowers? Like when you went to their house, come look at this, whatever.
Yes, totally. I know. The next stage that I'm going to reach, because I do remember this, was like older people. A lot of times when they get together, they spend the first half hour cataloging all the things that are going wrong with their bodies, like pain and things. So I feel like after the flowers, we'll reach that stage.
Yes.
Well, I did think about pets, Marie, because didn't you have an Instagram for your cat?
Yes. And that was one of the things that my daughter shared. That is So Midlife, Mom. When we first got our cat 3 years ago, of course, your first pet, you think you have the cutest pet ever. And I actually started an Instagram just of my cat pictures. And it was named after my cat, and it is humiliating now. And once in a while, my kids will screenshot. I don't even post on it. I haven't posted on it probably in a year and a half or more. And on our immediate family text thread, Lauren screenshots a picture and then my hashtags to send out to the group to make fun of Mom because I obviously did not understand hashtags. And my cat was in the dryer playing with the wool dryer balls. And I put hashtag wool. And my daughter thought that was just, and it is stupid, but I mean, she thought it literally was fall on the ground funny. Mom, don't you even know?
I'm going to look that one up and see what's out there.
Hashtag wool.
Yeah. Don't you even know what hashtags are for? Did you even see what's under that? You don't just pick out something in your picture and say hashtag tree. I'm like, well, obviously, this was before my podcast. This is before I'd done any research on Instagram. And no, I did not completely understand the hashtag thing.
I know I didn't.
So anyways, I'm not sharing the name of that Instagram.
Sorry, it's a sore subject.
But do you have anything from your own life, Mindy, to share?
My mind has gone blank and I'm scrolling through my pictures. I have gotten in trouble for taking too many screenshots of memes in the past.
Yeah.
From the person that downloads my pictures. They're like, why do you have that?
This is why I'm like, do you have a passcode, Mindy? But in midlife, one of the, I don't know if it's funny, but one of the things is that even if you have a passcode on your phone, everyone in your family knows it, and they feel free to pick up your phone at any point in the day. They're bored, type in your passcode, and then just start making fun of Mom. What'd you take a picture of that for? Reading through all your text messages, looking on your social media. Like, they just live to make fun.
I need better passcodes. You need the Face ID.
I have that, but even if I get a good one, then they want to get on my phone for something, and maybe I have chicken or my hands are wet, and they're like, "Can I get on your phone?" So then I have to tell them the passcode anyway. So I might as well just leave it an easy one, because I promise you, they'll be looking over my shoulder. Everyone will figure it out.
Dude.
It is. I have to delete things on my text messages, and once in a while, Isaac will be like, "I can tell you deleted whatever's here." I'm like, "Quit reading my text messages."
Oh my goodness.
This is entertainment for them.
Well, I am in a Bible study, and the other morning, it was kind of a little joke in our Bible study, and it's all midlife women. And one of them had left their book at her lake house, and so she had asked another lady to send her pictures, and she said, "I just thought it was so cute that all your pictures had your fingers in it, like holding." And I was like, that's definitely a midlife thing. Like, we don't crop and edit our pictures. And so like, I take pictures of people, or, and I don't go through this whole process of making sure it's just the right picture. I just send it. And so inevitably there's things like, we just came back from the beach, and like, there's some butt shots of people in the background. And, like, it's just, I'm not looking at a picture like a younger person is looking at a picture. Mom, didn't you see that? I'm like, no, I'm looking at you.
You're my whole focus.
And I'm like, when did I have to edit my life before I shared it, but I'm still getting made fun of?
Yes, constantly made fun of. All right, Julie, what else do you have from your own life to share with listeners? Make us all feel better.
Okay, I heard somebody say, it's weird being the same age as old people.
Oh.
And this really hit home when I visited another church with some friends. They took me to their life group, and I thought, oh, is this our age? Like when you have been with the same people in your mind, you all look 20, back in 1980.
Right.
And when you meet people you don't know that are your age, you're like, wow, this is my age group.
Right.
It really, you notice it. You go somewhere new and you look at your age group, and they look older than you feel. And that was kind of eye-opening. So yeah, it's weird to be the same age as old people.
Yes. This is not making us feel better.
No. I'll read the one I sent you guys the other day, because that's younger.
Okay.
Well, as soon as I can find it.
Amidst all the other screenshots on your phone?
Yes. Okay. So one of my friends shared this the other day. You guys have probably heard it, but it just is so relatable. It says, my favorite hobby is buying groceries and then getting takeout for dinner. Follow me for more financial tips.
I know. I have groceries, but I don't want to cook them.
Listen, you're worn out from grocery shopping, so you just want to get takeout.
Right. Can't be expected to do all that in one day.
I know.
Okay, well, here's one that always makes me laugh. 1 minute you're young and fun, and the next you're turning down the car radio to see better.
Oh, yeah.
And my kids make fun of me for this, because they'll have their music up loud, and I'll get flustered because I'm in an area I'm not familiar with, and I need to follow the directions, and I need to look at them, and I need to see the street signs. And immediately I'm like, turn the radio off or way down. They're like, we don't need to turn the radio down just to see the streets. I'm like, I do. I don't know why. It's like, I can't hear the radio.
Concentration.
And follow directions. But I'm sure when I was younger, I could have multitasked and done both of those things at the same time.
Yes. You need your full undivided attention or you can't focus.
I know. I mean, now my kids listen to music like right in their earbuds while they do complicated homework. I'm like, how can you possibly be understanding that? I would need to have silence to comprehend this equation.
Well, Marie, I thought you were going to say, because I've heard these multiple things on the one day you're young and hip and carefree and the next.
Okay.
The one I saw was you're buying pants at Costco. And I thought, oh.
Or you're buying a skirt like I did at Costco.
I bought pants and I think Marie's bought skirts. So
yeah, in every color, right?
But my kids made me return them. They said, no, Mom, no.
The other day, we've been watching, we were watching a lot of sports, especially when the NBA finals were on. And it's funny because our team, we were rooting for the Warriors, who won.
Okay.
Actually. So we were watching one night, and it was like halfway through the last series, and I was like nervously snacking. And the next day I told Jacob, I said, oh my goodness, I said, they better not leave me hanging for their next game. I need to know that they're going to win from the beginning, so I don't nervous snack through this game. Like they need to take it and not give an inch. And so the game comes on, and he's like, Mom, remember, you're not supposed to snack at night. You don't feel that great the next day. When my teenage boys are like, Mom, remember, you can't have dairy too late because your stomach hurts in the morning.
You have a built-in therapist.
So they know, like, Mom can't snack at night. She doesn't feel that great in the morning.
I know. You're going to have to move to the 4:30 dinner hour, Mindy.
Oh, no, I've been there for like a long time.
Have you? I don't even know at 4:30 what I'm cooking for dinner. So I guess I haven't gotten old enough for the 4:30 dinner.
Right.
Anything else to share from your real life, Julie?
Well, I also heard somebody say this. I want a porch so I can sit on it when it rains and say, we sure needed it. Doesn't that just crack you up?
Yes.
Because last night, big cloud comes, or 2 nights ago, a big dark cloud came over, and I was like, gosh, we need the rain.
Yes.
But I didn't get to say we sure needed it because it didn't happen. But
I know.
It's funny. Like when plants are your life, you got to have rain.
I know.
I know.
Everyone in our area was wanting that rain. And then I had book club at my house last night, and that was one of the dinner conversations was, oh, and we thought we were going to get rain. We were so excited we were going to get rain. And then it didn't rain.
Yes.
And it's true. We felt so teased by the weather forecast.
I know. It's amazing how much the weather, I actually check it every day. Like I never checked the weather every day, but I sure do now. And this morning I had a doctor's appointment before we recorded, and I was thinking, when did summer become, let me get all of my yearly exams in instead of summer hits and, oh, yay, fun. No, I think, okay, we gotta hit up all the different things over the summer. Like that's on my whole summer between the boys and my doctor's and dentist appointments.
Right. All right. Well, I know that there are so many other funny things out there. I would love to hear from listeners because I take screenshots all the time on my phone of other Instagrammers or people that have posted something. I'm like, yeah, that's me. If you guys have a funny one, we would love for you to tag us on our Instagram, Midlife Matters Podcast, or you can even use the hashtag Midlife Matters Podcast. Perhaps we will find it that way. I don't know. I'll have to ask. But anyways,
because it is a legitimate hashtag.
Yes. Tell us what funny ones you have found out there. But one of the ones that I found that wasn't funny, but I think it's a great, I don't know, are these even memes when people just write a bunch of words on a colored background? Is that even a meme or is it just a saying? I mean, we've been calling these memes the whole time, but I think they might just be sayings.
I don't think so necessarily.
My kids laugh at me when I ask that question.
I've asked that to all my children. I still don't understand it. So that is a very midlife thing.
That is a midlife thing that I cannot pronounce GIF.
Is this
GIF.
a meme?
Like
GIF?
I constantly mess up GIF and GIF and my kids. I'm always like, okay, now I'm going to get it right. And then I get it wrong because it's the wrong way. And I can never remember which way it is.
Honestly, if the three of us agree, then I'm good with that.
I only recently learned how to pronounce meme. But anyways, I thought that this one was fun because as much as I make fun of the fact that my kids make fun of me, this was a funny one that I found on my phone that I'd obviously taken a screenshot of, but it said, what you don't know before you become a parent of big kids is that unplanned conversations with them on the couch or in the car will be some of the most meaningful moments of your entire life. And I thought that is so midlife. Like we get to midlife and all of a sudden that conversation that you had out for a walk with your daughter the other night is all of a sudden like the highlight and like your reason for living. You know, I mean, they're just so important to you. And so I think that is a midlife thing. I don't know if you always recognize that when you're younger.
No, you're hoping they'll talk to you and, you know, when they're teenagers.
Or when they're preschoolers, you're hoping that maybe they won't talk so much.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
For real.
Or you can't imagine anything meaningful when they're toddlers or, you know.
I do feel so much more like gratitude the older I get. And even I've noticed a difference with my younger two boys as compared to my older two kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's probably an age thing. But I was even telling my oldest this morning, I said, I feel like, not that I practiced with you guys, but I just feel more prepared for like going into junior year with your brother, because I've been through it twice before. I have a little age on my side. And so I'm full of gratitude, but also I'm not trying to combat the learning curve. So there's just something about like, I'm willing to push more. I'm willing to, just do so much more, but also relax in other ways. So there's even something there, I think, that age has brought.
Right. Yeah. So anyways, that's just something that we do learn in midlife, to appreciate every little one of those unplanned conversations. They are so very special. But we have not done I'm a Fan in a couple weeks, so I think that we should do it. So listeners, let's move into I'm a Fan. All right, Julie, what are you a fan of this week?
Well, this is an I'm a Fan that's only going to apply to people in Nashville or maybe Middle Tennessee. But I'm going to have to backtrack on something I said in a previous episode.
Okay.
So I think I said in our unpopular opinions that I did not like country music.
Oh.
And I'm going to have to backpedal just a little bit on this. So about 2 weeks ago, I was invited to this venue, and it's called Buddy's Place Nashville. And it's this unique live music venue, and it's a house concert venue. Like Buddy held this in his house for years.
Oh.
But this year, it's being held out at a farm near Murfreesboro. And so he started in 2011, and this was his 90th show. So it was a big deal. And he invites songwriters there to play original music. And it's kind of his way to show support for songwriters and musicians, and then help grow their fan base. So I think I've discovered that I like singer-songwriter nights because they don't sound so country. Like, I think I enjoy hearing from the songwriter more than I do the artist.
Yes.
I think it was 2.5 hours, and I think I liked every song they sang. And I didn't recognize them. Like, the people I was with said, oh yeah, this is a Keith Urban song, this is a whatever. I didn't know him as that. So this was kind of my first exposure to him, but I really liked it. So I will take that back, that I maybe haven't given it enough time. Or I hadn't listened to the right music, because I really did enjoy myself. So I just wanted to say, if you're in the Nashville area, he has a show once a month. In July, there's 2, and you can go to Buddy's Place Nashville to buy your ticket. It's only $20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's okay. I think one of the things that is funny about midlife is you can discover something that you thought you didn't like, and all of a sudden you do like it.
Yeah.
And then your kids are like, who is mom?
Yeah. Who are you?
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know if I even really knew what a singer-songwriter night was before I moved to Nashville. So if you're not familiar with what it is, it's the ones I've been to have basically been like the songwriters either in a row on a stage or kind of in a circle, and they'll each play a song that they've written, and they'll tell you the story behind it and how it came about, and maybe like who else they tried to get to record it before it became a hit. And it is really interesting. I think it's just like, you might say like, well, I don't like basketball, but if you know the story of a certain player on the court, all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I'm interested in that game. Like, I don't know, for women, I think if we understand the story behind something, a lot of times we like it better.
Well, and just a live event helps too. It's just everything's better live. And they said that, of course, the fans love it because they have this up close and, and personal experience with the artist. But the artists really love it because it's more intimate than anything they're used to. I mean, when this was in Buddy's living room, people were sitting 5 feet from the artist,
That's so cool.
But it was at a beautiful farm. It was just a great setting.
Yeah. Listeners, I saw Julie post this on her stories while I was on vacation, and I thought, that just doesn't really seem like Julie. I'm going to have to ask her about that.
That's definitely country music that she's listening to there.
Yep.
I wonder if she knows it.
Right.
See, I almost didn't.
Okay, Mindy, what are you a fan of this week?
Well, you gave me a perfect segue into what my I'm a fan is, Marie. You had no idea.
No.
But last night, Jacob put on a new movie that's on Disney Plus, and I didn't even know it had just been released. It was so good. It is the backstory of a Milwaukee Bucks NBA player named Giannis Antetokounmpo, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I did my best.
Yeah.
But Giannis, and it is his backstory because he is a Nigerian family that then were in Turkey and then immigrated and became refugees in Greece. And so him and his brother and several other brothers were born in Greece, but it is his family's story. And I would say not even just his, but his family's. And so it was so compelling, so good. Bryce and I both had tears in our eyes at the end. It's just such a good movie. And again, it captured all of our interest. You know, my boys were interested because he's an NBA player, current. And just how we got there is truly incredible. It's such a feel good movie.
Yeah. I love sports movies. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name again?
Oh, sorry. It's called Rise, and it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I have another good movie to share, and I meant to share this several weeks ago, but I think I shared a different movie instead that was also good. Okay, have you guys watched Rescued by Ruby on Netflix? It's a dog movie.
Oh, no.
But I
You
promise
told me
you,
about it. Yeah.
I promise you, it is so, so good. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was one of those ones where I actually saw that it was coming out before it came out, and it really has been a hit on Netflix. So it is about a police dog. This 11-year-old dog from Rhode Island who became a national hero for saving a missing teenager is portrayed in a Netflix movie, Rescued by Ruby. And this dog was adopted out 5 times and returned. So it was on the verge of being euthanized when this police officer who had applied to the canine unit multiple times and was on his last chance to get in, came to the shelter and said, "Do you have any dogs that you think that I would be able to train to be in this canine unit?" Because usually they might spend like $10,000 on a German Shepherd and train it, but he didn't have that kind of money. And this was his last shot to get into the canine unit. So he was going to adopt a dog and try to train it himself. And it is just such a good story. It's a true story, and it has a really good twist at the end. So I encourage you to watch Rescued by Ruby because it really was good.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Yeah. Those both sound great.
Yeah. Yeah. So some good movies for your summer viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I might have to get like a trial of Disney Plus. There used to be a million trials of that, but now I don't know where any are, but I'd like to see that NBA one.
Oh yeah, Rise. And yeah, I don't know if it'll come to other streaming services or not. I mean,
right. Yeah. All right, listeners. Well, be sure and share your funny memes or your funny words written on a colorful black background. We don't know what they are, but share them with us. Come and find us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast or email them to us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. All right, Julie, Mindy, we just have to keep laughing because that's the only way to get through.
It is. It is. We got to laugh about all these things.
Yes. So I'll be back with you next week for some more laughter.
Sounds great.
All right. Bye.
Bye, girls.
We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.